she just woke up and everything's great for her. I want people to be able to relate to me. You may not have been through an accident, but people go through different traumas. And at the end of the day, when somebody goes through
Greetings everyone, and welcome to episode 34. Welcome to my space if this is your first time listening, and welcome back if you're a regular listener. I am excited and I'm just always happy to talk to you guys. Yes, just prepare yourselves, right? Alright, so in this episode I got the opportunity to talk with Deana-Rae Clayton. She's also known as British Bionic Babe, and she's from Montego Bay, Jamaica. And her life changed 2 years ago today when she met in a major car accident. After the accident, Deana-Rae, she woke up in the hospital speaking three different accents. And she shared in the interview that the first one, based on what family members or the doctors told her, because she wasn't able to remember much. The first one was, the American accent. The second, the Trinidadian accent, and then the third, the British accent, which she has to date, and that is why she has the alias British Bionic Babe. And so, foreign accent syndrome is a medical condition in which patients develop speech patterns regarded as a foreign accent, but were not acquired in the perceived accent's place of origin. So research shows that, and she also shared this in the interview, a stroke most commonly causes foreign accent syndrome. It can also be caused by head trauma, migraines or other developmental issues, some of which she experienced. And she also shared that she experienced damage to the brain and her right eye, and a broken hip, and the inability to walk for some time. But I'm telling you, her enthusiasm, spirit, energy, whatever you want to call it, is just impressive. And I was definitely inspired by just the way she speaks, and her coping mechanisms. And so even though she still has some surgery to do and still recovering, she's just still positive. And she admits that there are some days that she just feels low, but there is just always something to just get her back in good spirit, and that is just really great. She also shared the good and bad about the foreign accent syndrome, and some of her coping mechanisms are, she blogs, she also vlogs, and she cooks a lot, and she's working on a book. I'm sure that's going to be inspiring. And there's just so much more to take away from this episode, so take a listen. Okay, so Deana-Rae, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for accepting my invitation to talk to me today. Welcome. I didn't get that.
I said thank you for having me.
Oh, okay, sure. All right, so we're going to start by you just introducing yourself for the listeners.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Deana-Rae Clayton. I was born and raised in Montego Bay, Jamaica. I am an accountant by profession, and I am an introvert and an extrovert. I was invited today because of something that happened to me almost 2 years ago. I'm actually coming up on that anniversary on the 30th of June this month. I was in a major car accident, and in that accident, I had a lot of change to my life, exactly a 360-degree turn, and I also lost a friend. There were 4 of us in the vehicle, only 3 survived, and I am here today to answer all of those burning questions.
Yeah, man, I'm so sorry about your friend, and I'm just happy that you have been recovering. And it's almost 2 years, you said, the end of the month.
Yes, the end of the month will be 2 years since the accident.
Wow. Just give thanks. So tell me, you just said something that really leads into the next question that I really want to ask, and that's tell me at least 2 things that you're just most grateful for. Like, it's just budding at the top of your list, like you say. You're just saying honestly, it has to be these 2.
I'm grateful for the fact that I'm still alive because I don't
Mhm.
think that I've done everything I needed to do here on earth.
Mhm.
And I'm grateful for my parents.
Yes. Oh, lovely. All right. So, what was just take us back, take us 2 years back to let us understand what was your life like before the accident, because I know one of the first questions that somebody might have is that she's from Montego Bay, Jamaica, and she sound like this. So, take us back 2 years back to your life.
Okay. Well, because of my accident, I can't remember a lot of things before January of
Mm.
2019, but I was journaling, so that actually helped me.
Oh, lovely.
I normally celebrate my birthday for extended period of time, actually 6 weeks, because I have a lot of circle of friends, and
Mhm.
not everybody's personality can work with everybody. So I do that in order to, let people fit in where they can because I need to be celebrated.
Yeah.
So on June 30, 2019, it was the final event and the final day of my 6 week birthday celebration. And I was out with three friends. And I mean, yes, we were out and we were partying, but the event that we went to, the
Mhm.
liquor that they were serving, it was not of our taste. So the entire night we made a whole fun out of it because we were all there drinking juice as if to say liquor was actually in it.
Right.
So we had a good time. I had no idea that my life was about to change. All I was thinking about is, okay, I need to get ready for work on Monday. And
Mhm.
so on my way home, we were dropping home a friend. And to be honest with you, I can't remember the details of the accident, and that is because of my head trauma. But
Mhm.
up to the point where I can actually tell you is that we were dropping a friend home, and the next thing is I woke up 2 days later in the hospital, unable to move.
Mm. Mm. So tell me a little bit about the diagnosis or the condition. You said it's called foreign accent syndrome, right?
Yes.
So
So
yeah.
what happened is that in my accident, the collision was caused by an oncoming vehicle, and it was
Mhm.
to the driver's side, and I was sitting behind the driver. And
Mhm.
so with that impact, I got severe head trauma, which resulted in a stroke, which resulted in permanent brain damage. And so I woke up actually speaking American, then it went to Trinidadian, and then it went to British, and it's been British ever since. And I've been right-handed my entire life, and I woke up left-handed, but now I'm ambidextrous. So that's
Mm.
it. Those things are two of the good things that happened from the accident, basically, because apart from the brain damage and the head trauma, I did suffer a broken right hip, broken left femur, broken right pelvis, fractured right rib, fractured spine in three places, lacerated right eye, fractured facial bones, and unable to walk. I was immobile for 8 months straight.
You make me want to cry. Like,
Yeah,
that's a
it
lot.
yes, it is a lot. It definitely is a lot.
And I just like, I mean, as much as it's a lot, it's not a lot bad. It's mixed. So you say you woke up using your left hand instead of your right hand. You never used your left hand before.
No, I've never used my left hand before, and they brought a document to me in order to sign for my surgery. And I was trying very hard to write with my right hand, and the doctor said, "Why don't you try the other hand?" And I said, "But I'm not left-handed." And he said, "Try the other hand." And I
Mm.
wrote perfectly like I'm supposed to be a left-handed person.
Wow. And you say you moved from American to Trinidadian to British, and it's
Yes,
been
because when persons came to see me at the hospital, they told me that I had an American accent, and then for like a day, I it sounded a little bit Trinidadian, and then it went to British, and it's been British ever since. The only thing that has happened now is that persons have explained to me that if I get really emotional, then
Mhm.
the pop will chips in. But then in my ear, even talking to you, I'm always sounding Jamaican, but I don't know how I sound until persons start talking to me in proper English, or I'm recording and I realize that, okay, that's really how I sound to people.
Wow. Yeah, you don't sound Jamaican. I'll just let you know. No, but I mean, I'm fascinated because I love the British accent. I love the British accent and I love the African accent. So right now, I'm just fascinated.
Thank you so much.
I never knew that this was a thing, like foreign
For an
accent.
accent.
I didn't
No,
know.
I didn't know it was a thing before it happened to me, but
Mhm.
apparently it's rare, but people actually go through it. Persons that have had head trauma, persons that have done surgery on their brain, on their throat, persons that have been in accidents. Because when my accident happened, there are other persons that reached out to me that the family member was in an accident and they had a different accent, but it only lasted for like 6 to 8 months. Mine is still going on almost 2 years.
2 years, right, right. So are you still an accountant?
Yes, I am still an accountant. Certain things about me have not changed. I am very great on numbers, and that has not changed about me. But a lot of things that have changed is personality wise, because then the person that my friends explained to me that I was before my accident, I don't know how they were my friends, like legit. I do not know how people tolerated me, because that attitude that I had, that better than everybody and I'm a boss, and I mean, they tolerated a lot. But personality wise, I'm more humble now, and then I care more for people than I did before. So I start to care about people's feelings, how the things that I do and say affect them, because then it's kind of silly to think about it, but based on my accident, I actually died and I came back. And I say that because the 2 days I was in a coma for, everything that they have explained to me, I cannot recall. I did not go through that. That did not happen to me. What happened was that all I could see is that I was being rushed on a stretcher. And then when I looked to my left, I saw a doctor because he was in a white coat. But when I tried to look at his face, I saw a very bright light. And then when I look up, I'm seeing the same bright light. So I have to keep turning away my head. But then when I look to my right, there's a tall, dark man in a red Oxford shirt, and he held my hand and he was rubbing my chest and he said, Deana-Rae, don't worry, you're gonna be okay. Deana-Rae, don't worry, you're gonna be okay. And if I see that man today, I can tell you that is the man I saw. When I explain these things to my parents, to my friends, to my doctors, they're saying, Deana-Rae, that did not happen. So I am going to say I died and I came back, and that was my guardian angel. And I believe that this second, like, I'm just so skeptic in doing something wrong or thinking negatively, because I'm saying, okay, so God gave me a second chance at life. I believe that if I do something wrong or if I be negative, he's going to probably say, okay, Deana-Rae, since you don't want the life that I've given back to you, okay, that's I have that type of mentality. And because of that mentality, all I want to do is help people in whatever way I can. And if I can't, then I can point you into the direction that you can get the help that you need.
Right, right, right. And I agree. I mean, I haven't known you for a long time. And I remember when I was trying to reach out to you, you were really busy. You were really, upfront to say, listen, I'm going through this right now. I cannot talk. But then, and then you even came back to say, hey, I'm ready. And then I was even slacking off. And I was like, oh, geez, I need to get this done. So I agree.
Yes, because I try to be, well, I don't try. I'm a very positive person because I deal with a lot of energy. But I can tell you, being positive and being out there in the public, people believe that, okay, she's positive every day, she don't have dark days. I have really horrible days.
Right.
There's some days where, to be honest with you, I don't feel like I have a purpose today, and I have to try to push through that, because then what we normally do as human beings is we feel a certain way and we try to push it under the rug, but that doesn't solve the problem. You need to feel the emotion, you need to understand why it's there, and then you need to move on from it. So in the event that it reoccurs, you know how to deal with it. And so on my very bad days, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't feel like I'm needed, I'm wanted. And I have to pull myself out of that, because then I woke up on the wake up list that day. So it must be for a reason. And so I try to be very transparent, and I try to be very honest about my journey, because I don't want people to believe that, okay, she just woke up and everything's great for her. I want people to be able to relate to me. You may not have been through an accident, but people go through different traumas. And at the end of the day, when somebody goes through a trauma, they believe that nobody can understand what they're feeling, what they're going through. And that may be the case. But as human beings, we can try to listen to what the person is saying and try to comfort them instead of just saying to me, what I really hate people saying, oh, be grateful that God saved you and everything else will fall into place. Okay, fine. I am grateful to God. However, I'm in pain every day. Some days mentally, I can't fight those battles on my own. And I mean, if God understands, then I'm just only human, and I have to do what I need to do for me in order to, excel from that. But it's a rough journey. I mean, even now, it's getting a little bit more complicated, because I've done a total of 5 surgeries and I'm still not fixed.
Wow.
Yeah, my left leg is still broken. And when I pushed myself, because I was a very independent person. And so when I woke up, I was completely dependent, like completely dependent. I couldn't even raise this arm without my mother raising it for me. And so that in itself took a toll on me and got me very depressed, because I'm not used to people doing anything. I'm not used to asking for help, because I believe that when you ask for help and then you reach a certain point in life, there are people that's going to say, if it wasn't for me, or do you remember when I helped you? And I don't want to be in that position, because I did have anger issues. So it was very traumatic for me that I moved from being independent to completely dependent, or even like 50%, but completely dependent. And so I'm saying to myself, all right, so you need to get up, you need to do what you need to do. But at the end of the day, who are you really? I can't be sitting down every day wishing I'm the person I was before, because really and truly, that person was so broken. That person masked their feelings and how they felt about life with being independent. I had to now accept who I am now and understand that not everybody didn't love me then. Everybody's not going to love me now, and that's okay. The right people will find me, and the right people will be there for me. And even though I don't have one person that understands what I'm going through, I am that person for other people that understand what they're going through, and that helps me in my therapy, and that helps me to build as a person in this new normal.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. You've said a lot, like, and I'm very much inspired, just to say that you're going through a dark time. You have to realize, just accept it and say, okay, how do we move from here,
Yes.
instead of staying in the moment. And that's just beautiful. It's
Thank you.
amazing. It's amazing. All right, so I want you to, you did touch on a little bit about how your life has changed since. So I want you to tell me some of the, I don't know, maybe you could expound a little bit more on some of the some more lows or some more highs. I don't know, whichever one you want to.
Okay. That's no problem. So one of my continuous low is pain. So I normally feel pain in my entire body when I was just recovering. And there has been no medication that can help me with my pain, unless they make like a WD-40 pill to help the pain. I can't. But morphine helps, and morphine is addictive, so I'm not allowed to get that unless I go to the doctor. So it was at a point where my recovery has moved to immobile. Me moving from one side of the bed to the next, it was excruciating pain to the point where even my teeth hurt. And as I recover, I got a lot better, because I'm not able to move. I'm about 90% mobile, but it's assisted mobility. So I can't walk on my own as yet. But the stabilizing pin that is in my left knee to keep the bar in place, it's very tight. And so it continuously hurts me 24/7. If the rain is going to fall, I can let you know, because I feel pain. The harder the rain falls, the more pain I feel. I have a chain link that keeps my right hip and my right pelvis in place. And because of the recovery, it's now given me arthritis at 35 years old.
Wow.
And so, yes. And so I'm going to have to do a full hip replacement by the end of the year. Some of the other lows I have are mostly mental, because then I'm in a position where everybody around you can walk, and then you feel like a burden, because then people have to walk slower. They have to wait on you. Sometimes they can't understand what you're saying, because then everybody's okay with the British accent, and we thought that everything was okay. And my neurologist did suggest that I do therapy in order to get back to the Jamaican, but my parents wasn't having it. What we didn't realize is that having foreign accent syndrome and having this accent, it actually pushes me to understand Patois less and less. So if you're talking to me saying a sentence in full Patois, I'm not going to understand everything. But I'm just going to nod and smile like I can. But so I'm not able to speak the Patois. It really sounds horrible, like a tourist trying to speak Jamaican. And then if you're talking to me, you have to speak in a proper English, or you have to mix the proper English with the Patois in order for me to understand your full sentence or actually get an idea of what you're trying to say to me. But I think my highest low is not being able to walk regularly, because then people say I'm not a burden, but I feel like a burden. And then I do have other physical issues, like my eye.
Right.
So because I used to wear glasses before, so
Mhm.
my right eyelid was lacerated, and what they did was they said when they took me out of the accident, my eyeball fell out. So they just had to push it in and just
But
stitch whatever
no,
skin was there.
stop a little bit, please. Stop a little bit. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
So which is why I'm blind in my right eye.
You said your eyeball fell out.
Yes. They said that when the emergency person said to me when they reached to me in the vehicle because they had to take the jaws of life in order to cut me out of the vehicle.
Mm.
So they said that the eyeball fell out. So all they had to do was hold it in their hand and just push it up in, push it up, and just stitch whatever skin that was there. Because at that point, the eye was important, but in that moment, it was not
Mhm.
the organ that needed to be, getting the full attention.
Mhm.
So in doing that, the retina is damaged, the pupil is damaged, and the lens has a hole in it. So unless God wants me to see, I don't think there's anybody medically that's able to do it. I don't know if I can replace the eye with like a glass eye and if I'm ever going to see, but for
Mm.
right now, the left eye is what I see out.
Mm.
So there's daily lows, but I've learned to try to trust the process, even if it's not the process that I like.
Mhm.
And I come from a very Christian background. I have very God fearing parents, and I do believe that the prayers of person is what is really keeping me. So
Right.
I try to draw close to God as possible. But I'm human. Every day is not going to be that day where how I feel, I am
Mhm.
drawing closer to God because I really just feel like, why am I here? And
Mm.
then in dealing with that, I have to understand that, okay, you're here for purpose. You may think you know the purpose, but there is something more in the making. And I always say my comeback is going to be awesome, but
Mm.
it's like in my head, I have to learn to be patient because I was not born with that at all. None at all.
Wow. This is a journey. Like I commend you. I
Yes,
commend you.
maturing.
I mean, I'm not sensing anything negative at all right now since we've been talking, and that's just awesome, man. Because some people they probably wouldn't even want to go back outside.
Yes. I mean, I had my anxiety stage where I didn't want to drive a motor vehicle, but I had to go to my doctor visits. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was me holding on to the chair and holding on to the seatbelt because my neurologist said to me the reason I can't remember what happened in the accident is because of the head trauma, and the brain doesn't believe that the body can actually um, accept those memories. However, if the brain feels like, okay, today's the day we're going to let her remember, that can happen or
Mm-hmm.
it can never happen. And so every time I go into a vehicle, I had that fear. And
Yeah.
then look, everybody, even my anxiety has gone a little bit less because then I have the same person that's always transporting me. But
Mm.
in those instances where somebody's not available, that's always there that I have grown to trust, the anxiety comes right back like it never left.
Mm-hmm. I get you. I see you spoke about prayers, right? And you say, you just think it's just prayers that people have been praying for you. I want you to talk to me a little bit more about some of the other things that you used to cope. Seeing that you're still recovering, what else would you say that you used to cope, get along?
Well, I did start meditation and I
Okay.
use Headspace for meditation. I
Mm-hmm.
also I do write because I do have a blog, so that keeps me on my toes somewhat. And
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to write a book. Apart from that, what I try to do, I did start my YouTube channel, and I started my YouTube channel under the impression that okay, somebody's gonna see my video, somebody overseas, a doctor or somebody, and they're gonna reach out to me and say, okay, Deana-Rae, we're gonna send for you and we're gonna fix you. That's the reason I had a YouTube channel. But I realized that the more I did my videos, the more feedback I got from persons. It's really therapy that was helping me to tell my story because it's really just me talking. At the end
Mhm.
of the day, all you're gonna have is an opinion. But
Yeah.
I feel comfortable in that space where I can video and I can tell people how I feel. And then I realize that I'm not the only one. So I
Mm.
do those things and I also cook very well. And I realize that cooking actually helps.
Nice. That's lovely. All right. And I'm so happy that those mechanisms are working for you.
I'm excited about the book, even though you say you just started. I mean, I
Yes.
definitely buy it. Um, that's awesome. I want you to just share. I don't know what else you want to say to those who are probably listening. Right now they might be in a similar situation as yourself, or maybe not so similar, but just a situation, a spot, something. What would you say to that person right now?
Okay, so what I'd say to those people is that even though the question always comes up when you're going through trauma, why me? What have
Yeah,
I done in order to let this happen to me? What is
right.
it that I did not do why this is happening to me? And I ask myself that question all the time because I deem myself as a nice person. I'm always helpful and I try to be there for people. So I don't understand at what point, why was I the one chosen to be in this position? And that's
Mhm.
the question that everybody would normally ask themselves when they find themselves in a sticky situation, when something out of the ordinary comes up. And it's okay to ask that question. It's just that you have to understand you're not going to get an answer for it. And you
Mhm.
can't be angry with yourself not getting an answer. What you
Right.
need to do is realize that everything in life, even though we say it and sometimes we don't believe it, it happens for a reason. And we
Mhm.
may not see the reason right away, a couple weeks from now, a couple days from now, a couple years from now, but it is for a reason. And so what we have to do is accept whatever it is that we're in. You have
Mhm.
to accept it. You have to accept the feelings that come with it and understand why is it that you feel that way.
Right.
Analyze the situation. How could I have thought about it differently? What other options could I have looked into? Did I think about that decision with feelings or did I do it logically? And then you will try to dissect what it is that's coming at you so you understand why you're in the position you're in and how you can make it better. After you've done that, it's
Right.
okay to be down. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to understand that nobody understands what you're going through, but you have to pull yourself from that place and
Mhm.
move on. Because I will tell you, if you are not supposed to be here, there's nothing you can say, do, or pray to wake up. Nothing. So the fact that you get the opportunity every day to get up and get another opportunity at life,
Mhm.
don't always stay in the same place. The only thing that is sure is change. And over time, we have to understand that, as I said, I'm not born with patience. I can
Mm.
spell it, people have it, but I don't have it. And I had to learn. And I
Yeah.
think the reason why my recovery slows down or things are not going how I want is because I have not learned to be patient. And
Right.
being patient in my recovery allows me to be patient in other aspects of my life because I need it.
Mhm.
And I need to understand that I'm at a place where I am actually supposed to be at this place at this present time. I may not be okay with it. I may
Yeah.
not understand it, but I'm here in it. So I have to make the best of it. And I have to think about the fact that we're moving forward. We're not moving backwards. And
Right.
so
Right.
this is what I encourage a lot of people to do. Think about your next move. Think
Mhm.
about the fact that at the end of the day, you have to have you. Yes, you might have a support system. Yes, you might have people that love and understand you. But in the end, you have to rely on yourself. And if you can't rely on yourself, how can you expect other people to rely on you? If
Mm.
you
Right.
don't love yourself, how can you expect others to love you?
Yeah.
And so I had that challenge too. I had to love myself how I am now because I prided myself on being a thick girl with clean skin and so vivacious. And all of that changed because now my skin has high pigmentation. I
Mhm.
have surgery marks. And so I
Mhm.
have to change my mindset to say these surgery scars are my survival scars and they
Yeah.
tell a story. And
Mhm.
so this is how we have to progress as human beings. We have to understand that self love is important. And what
Mhm.
we're going through, we're not alone. It's just that you don't need to broadcast it out there in order to get the help that you need because the help starts with you first. And
Yes.
as long as you understand that, everything else will fall into place.
Hmm. Wow. You have said a lot, and I am impressed. Like I'm inspired,
Thank
and
you.
because I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was saying, sometimes we really start to complain only when something is not working, but when it's working, we don't realize that we're good. When we're walking, we don't realize that we're able to walk until we're not able to anymore, and then it's like, why are we like that? So listening to you now just makes me more appreciative of just everything. And man, you are strong, and
Thank you.
I'm grateful for you sharing this, with in my space. And I just
Yeah,
really hope listeners will be able to take something from this, because it's just good, it's positive, and I like it, and I know you're going places, and
thank you
I'm
so much.
really happy that you're still able to do your accounting.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, really good.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I love to end on my podcast with affirmations. So I'd like to know what yours is for the week.
Think it, believe it, do it.
Wow. Say it again.
Think it, believe it, do it.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much for talking to me
So
today.
much. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, it was too. And I just pray that your finances
Yes.
blessed.
Yes.
Whoever is working with you in therapy, they are covered, and they would be blessed with the right tools, everything,
Yes.
equipment, everything, to make sure that everything goes well. Whoever is around you transporting you, that they are covered too. And I just pray that your anxiety will be able to, what do you call it, diminish, so
Yes.
that be your best self, and that you will continue to learn patience.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
just keep shining and keep inspiring.
I
It's
will.
inspiring. You're doing a good job. I
Thank you
love.
so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you for having me. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you.
Um,